then I think I was naive enough. Now,
right
in midlife, no.
Oh,
I wouldn't have done it. I would have been like, I need an investor.
Yeah.
I need a plan.
What if
I need this? What if this happens? And I think that's maybe like beautiful thing about it is I just happened to like be in that moment where I just was young and naive enough that like I was going to take the chance. But yeah, today at this point, it would be a whole different story, I think.
Welcome to Breast Intentions, the podcast where we take off the bra of expectations and dive into honest, empowering conversations. We're your hosts, Nadine and Cynthia, two Canadian girls who swapped snow boots for flip-flops in the Cayman Islands. This is your space to feel seen, supported, and a little less alone. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of champagne and get ready for your weekly handful of truth, wellness, and empowerment. Welcome back to Breast Intentions. On today's show, we're joined by Lindsay, founder of Island Naturals, who started her brand 15 years ago right here on the island. She shares what it really takes to build something from the ground up and how entrepreneurship has shifted from then to now, especially as she's stepping into midlife with a whole new perspective on growth, balance, and success.
so on today's episode, we have Lindsay Allen, who is the owner of Island Naturals. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Another fellow Canadian who's been here for 15 years.
15 years.
And over the course of those 15 years, you have evolved quite a large business down here on the island, and it's like moved into numerous other little businesses. And actually, I shouldn't even call it little businesses.
Yeah.
They're quite significant. So one of the reasons why we did want you on the show is we haven't really had someone come on the show and really talk about like growing their business, the evolution of their business, and also doing it at a time when you're in midlife. So
Yep.
it's a lot. There's a lot going on. So for any of our listeners, can you just give a bit of a intro on like how you ended up here on the island? We all have our own little stories. And,
of course.
how Island Naturals actually started.
Okay. So, I was here about 15 years ago. I actually was offered a job as a bartender at Cayman. And I was living a super serious life in Canada. I had bought an apartment. I was working a corporate job, and I just kind of thought, what, I think I'm just way too serious for my own good right now. I was early 20s and decided just to like check it out. My Tom Cruise cocktail moment. I was like, I'll just come down and like, bartend for a bit and see what happens with no, like, I didn't even know where the Cayman Islands was. Like I had to Google it. I was like, oh, okay. So it was honestly just like escaping from like reality a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
you say Kaibo? Like Kaibo?
Yeah, I lived and worked out there for 6 months. It was felt like 2 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great experience, and met a lot of great people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Australia for a year, and then came back. And I don't know, my gut feeling just said that I wasn't done with Cayman. I had no explanation as to what it was. I just knew I didn't want to be back in Canada, and something was telling me to come back here. And so, I guess my gut was right.
So then as soon as you moved back from Australia, did you start Island Naturals? 'Cause
No.
you were a bartender.
I bartended a couple different places. And it was a thought, it was something that, I'd been working kind of in my mind on, but I had no money. I had no like plan. I had no idea. And so it was actually when I was working at Royal Palms, I started the wellness, the vitamin shop first, which a lot of people don't actually realize. They think the restaurant came first. So the wellness was first, and I had that for 6 months, and I was bartending basically and like taking my tips from the night and then going and buying product for the store and that sort of a thing. And then the cafe was 7 months later.
And also, both of you guys have attended my dinner.
Yeah.
And I know in the dinner, we both shared similar stories. And before the supplement store started, or the vitamin supplement store started, you were also at a point where you weren't sure if you were going to open it, or you weren't able to make rent or something like that? And
that was the the first couple of years for sure were a little bit of a blur, but that beginning part it was pretty tough for sure.
And something happened with someone giving you a tip.
Yeah. You put that in there to make me cry. I swear, every time someone asks me this, I cry. So I'm not going to do it.
And I have a similar story too. So,
I actually had the wellness store open already. And I had taken the cafe space over, but it wasn't open yet. And keep in mind that like I'm not a chef. I don't like, I was like, I'm going to open this cafe. Meanwhile, I'm not doing any of the cooking. So it was, assistance was needed. And I was struggling a lot with that. I was struggling a lot with financial. I didn't have an investor. I didn't have any like real savings. It was kind of just like I would make this money at the bar and then I would like figure it out. And I remember being at a point where I did not know if I was actually going to be able to open the doors, like if I was going to be able to finish. I was at the bar one night. Voices already. I was at the bar one night. It was a slow night. It was at Royal Palms. And this guy came in and he was drinking K-Brew and he was just like super low key and wasn't busy. So we started chatting and he said he was down for business and IT or something like that. And so we got talking a little bit about that. He asked me my story. So I told him, I've just opened this business and I'm working on this one and whatnot. And basically he spent, I think his bill was like $30. By the end of the conversation, he told me that the business that he was here for was actually his business, that he had started from nothing. And it was a big business. And he left me $1,000 tip. Mm-hmm. And he wrote on the back, don't ever settle. There's always going to be people to support you. Mm-hmm. Go after your dreams. And I took that $1,000 and I paid the rent so that I could open.
Yeah, it's so cool. There's a lot of people that you just never really know. Like when you start to share your story and people that really believe in you, but you would have no idea that they do. And when we were at my dinner, I shared a similar story. I don't remember if it was you or I that shared it first. I don't remember at what point, but there was a woman down here, and she was older than me. She was probably, I think, 20 years older than me or something like that. And it really got to know me and knew what it was that I wanted to do and what it was that I wanted to build down here. And obviously, like, we're all in our early 20s. We're all struggling to like make money. We don't have any savings or anything like that. And one of the days that I went for coffee, she handed me an envelope. And in that envelope was $1,000. And she said, however many years ago it was, someone believed enough in her to know that she was going to do good things. And they gave her $1,000. All they asked for was for her to pay it forward. Mm. And she did with me, and she left me a note and just said that it was because she believed in me. So,
and I think the thing about those moments is those people don't actually realize like the low that you're in at that moment.
Or they do because they've maybe been there.
And they, and fair point. And what just that kind gesture does, that made me go, okay, this is still my dream. I can still do this.
Yeah.
Someone out there built something from nothing. I can do that too.
Yeah.
And despite, how exhausted you are and, how hard it seems, like it's a pretty amazing, beautiful moment to have.
It is.
And I wish I could thank him. I don't know who he is. I wish I could be like, look what I did. Like, it would be very cool to have that full circle moment, but I'll always be grateful. And one day I'll be I'll be that person for someone.
Yeah. I agree. Same thing. Yeah. So when you started the wellness company, what was the reason for why you started?
Just, it was kind of a selfish thing. I was bringing all of the supplements, natural skincare and everything here. Like someone would come visit. I'd be like, okay, before you come, you need to go here and here and here and here. And
just for yourself.
Just for myself.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just was like, one day I'm like, I feel like there's got to be other people that would want the same things. Like it can't just be me. And so I knew what brands I liked. I went and looked at a space. The guy thought I was an absolute nut for wanting to rent it, which is obviously still the space that we're in today. And I just rented it and just bought a bunch of product. I went and bought shelves secondhand and just opened the doors to see what would happen.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was really just like feeling like Cayman needed it, and selfishly, like, I wanted it. So I was kind of like, I was 27. I was like, if it doesn't work, like, I'm going to be fine. You know, I didn't actually think it was going to work. I was just like, let's see what happens.
Good for you, though, for, still even just taking that risk and just giving it a try. A lot of people don't.
I think this is the interesting thing is then I think I was naive enough. Now,
Right.
in midlife, no.
Oh.
I wouldn't have done it.
So if you
I would have done it. I would have been like, I need an investor.
Yeah.
I need a plan.
What if
I need this? What if this happens? And I think that's maybe like, the beautiful thing about it is I just happened to like be in that moment where I just was young and naive enough that like I was going to take the chance. But yeah, today at this point, it would be a whole different story, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did the very first version of Island Naturals look like compared to like what it is that people see today?
I think in a lot of ways there's still similarities. Like if you go into the wellness store, we are doing like a complete revamp hopefully by the end of the year. But right now the shelves in there, a lot of them, they're still the secondhand shelves.
No way.
From day one. So there's certain things that are the same. Obviously we've opened up two new locations. So we do have aesthetically, we've stepped things up a bit, but it was certainly very organic. It was, secondhand this and let me grab this from EK and we're going to, do little things here and there. So kind of aesthetically it's grown organically, but I think at the core, it's still the same. My whole goal was making healthy lifestyle choices available, affordable, convenient. I think we've nailed that down, which is great.
Yeah.
But obviously operationally, we have 60 employees now. We have 4 locations. So structurally, procedurally, there's a whole different side of the business. But I think at the core, a lot of it's still the same, which is, I think is what it's all about. You got to stay true to who you are and not lose that when you grow to, I guess, the level that we're at. Yeah.
And another question, I don't know if it's on here, but when you first started from the cafe side, it was all vegan.
It was, yeah.
And over the years, it's like evolved slightly.
Yes.
And then the Grove location is now not vegan.
No. Yeah. And I was vegan for quite a few years and then that changed just for personal health reasons. And for a long time before the Grove, I had been wanting to expand the menu. For me, it was always about making healthy living available to people. And there's no judgment on what you feel healthy living is, or what your diet is. So for me, it's not my place to choose or restrict or say it needs to be plant-based or it needs to be this. It's, I think you should be able to have a whole family come out and enjoy a meal together. And, whether it's dairy-free or gluten-free or, whatever that is, you should be able to find that easily. And that was the goal for me. Our original location was quite restrictive in being able to offer because obviously cross-contamination and, it's a very small space. So being smart about, how we do that intentionally, which is, why we move forward with Grove. But yeah, the future of the business is going to and will remain just open to other people and what their lifestyle choices are.
Healthy living. When you did start the business and building any kind of business down here in a small island community, which is definitely not easy, what were some of the hardest seasons that you faced early on?
I think it's pretty normal for the beginning to obviously be a pretty hard season. But I think some of the harder seasons, to be honest, were the growth seasons. Like when when you see a lineup outside the door of the cafe and you're like, oh my gosh, we got to get bigger. But then you're like, okay, but we need money for that. We need resources for that. We need people for that. And then you do it. And then you're like, oh God, imposter syndrome. Can I actually do this? You know, and then you have to like navigate growing and having, you know, more team members and all of that comes along with it. And then obviously just besides the financial aspect of it is like the energy aspect as you get older. And when you know, we'll probably talk about it later, but you know, when you lose your balance and you burn out and then you're trying to build this huge business, you know, it certainly becomes difficult. So I would say for me, it was certainly the growth seasons that were the most challenging and in several cases made me honestly question, can I keep doing this? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's your child, right? So it's trying to keep your head above the water as you're raising something and you're keeping it alive. And you also have other people who are
and trying to remember to keep yourself alive at the same time.
Yeah. And you did everything yourself.
I mean, yes and no. Like it's me, but I can't do what I do without the amazing people by my side every day. Like honestly, I'm, you know, they run the show every day, really, at this point. My mom worked in the business with me for a long time, and she was a big help. I've got people that have been with me since day one. We've got someone else celebrating a 10-year anniversary coming up. So, you know, I've got some great people that really care. And so, yes, it is me, but no, it's not. You know, it's like it takes a village to do it. So, yeah.
So when you did go through a lot of these tough times, like what was it that got you through? Is it ego? Is there ego?
There was a moment of ego for sure. That part's past now.
Yeah.
Now that I've turned 40, I don't care about that anymore. But yeah,
well,
for sure.
It's that feeling of like, I don't want to fail. I don't want people to see me fail. Or
there was a, you know, always being underestimated. There was certainly a moment where I wanted to prove.
Yeah.
I wanted to prove that I could do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a season where it was about ego.
Yeah. What else got you through it?
I think when you have team members whose lives they, you know, are dependent, that's a huge motivation in every decision that you make. And that has always been the number one for me is these decisions are not just about me. It's about other people and the time and the energy that they've put into the day-to-day and to build the business and to make it all that it is. And other people believing in me and depending on me really is the key factor to keep going.
That's what I was going to say as well, is that I think that there's so much to be said for having those employees that absolutely love their job and believe in you and believe in the brand and believe in what it is that you're building, that I do think also helps you get through. But then there's probably also your girlfriends and you know, that kind of thing that you can just lean on and you know, talk to and dump, you know.
There's definitely people that have allowed me the vent, and I will always be grateful for that.
Which is always good. So as a female entrepreneur, especially in your 20s and your 30s, did you ever feel underestimated or dismissed while building your companies?
All the time. Constant theme from the beginning. People, you know, health and wellness was at that point very niche. Being in the restaurant business as a female, you know, it's not common. Young female, it's not common. So yeah, it was a constant theme. The beginning, it was, you know, banks turning me down left, right, and center. Landlords, when I was trying to grow and get more space, can you actually like afford that? Can your business like take that much space? I mean, actually I could take more than that, but I'm just asking for that because I know that's realistic. And, you know, it was always, I was obviously a very young female entrepreneur in a foreign country. And, so it was a theme from the beginning, through And also there were a lot of scenarios where people thought that a man was involved. People would come in and be like, well, her husband must have helped her. I've never been married, by the way. She must have an investor. There must be. And it was funny because if somebody said that to me, I would probably just be like, I would just pretend I worked. Like, I love pretending I work at Island Naturals. I don't usually say I own it. I'm like, oh yeah, I work there. But it was the team that would be like, she didn't have a man help her. Like, they would get so like heated, and then they'd like run up to the office and be like, you'll never guess what this person just said to me. And so, yeah, it was in many ways, there was a lot of, even recently I've had like vendors be like, oh, this person is the owner. I'm like, no, that's me. And they're like, and then they have to like check themselves because they're like, wait, what? So yeah, it's which I kind of secretly love because I kind of am like, when I get to like have that moment, I'm like, haha. But now, I don't really care about it, but there were moments where I was just like, okay, yeah, I did this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think common in the industry, and yeah, you just have to get past it and keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
So with the Island Naturals being a wellness brand, when did you realize that it had become something bigger than just a business, like just the cafe, just the supplement store? When did you realize that this is something that is much bigger?
I mean, I think probably COVID.
Oh yeah.
Was I mean, there's lots of moments obviously that happened along the way, but I would probably say COVID because it was so interesting to see the level of support that we got. And also like I was getting like, because we were closed both in the restaurant and retail for like different periods of time. The retail took quite a bit longer to become essential. And I was getting like phone calls, messages, emails from people begging for things. Like, I won't tell anybody to just do this. Like, I remember at one point, like, they were changing the rules every day. Like one day it was this, and then the next day it was this. And I remember a lady came to pick up like, it was like collagen powder or something. And I wasn't allowed to hand it to her. Like, it was like a delivery. We go into delivery only or whatever. Mm-hmm. And she like broke down, and it was horrible. And I was like, I found a legal way to get it to her. Don't worry. But yeah, it was impacting people's lives. We had customers that would like order food all the time. I was out doing deliveries at that point. We had one regular customer who would order every day, and he tipped $100 every day for 30 days.
Really?
Yeah. Because obviously that goes to the team directly. And he did that because, they obviously they weren't making as much money. We didn't have as much business coming in, and he wanted to make sure that they were good. Mm-hmm. It was a small team, and obviously that went a long way, and keep morale up. And, people care. You could just tell that like they wanted us to be on the other side.
Yeah.
And it was rough. Like, it was financially,
and not everybody was.
Very difficult time for businesses. And, I remember crying at my desk by myself, being like, oh my gosh, like I have so many people's lives in my hand right now.
Right.
And the decisions I made, I just got goosebumps. The decisions I made, were thankfully the right ones. But at the time, you have no idea with what's going on. And coming out of that and seeing just the level of support and the loyalty from the community was amazing. And it was one of those moments where I was like, we are impacting people's lives on a daily basis. Right. And that's why we're doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you just recently turned 40.
I did. And I'm proud about that. I'm not scared about that.
Because you should be. How has your definition of success changed from when you first started to now?
So I think at the beginning, I didn't even think it was going to be successful. I think I touched on that. It was really a passion project. I was like, let's just see what happens. And then it started to become successful. And I was like, okay, we have to be the best. We have to get bigger. We have to, I have to prove myself. And so you go through these seasons. That was the ego season. You go through these seasons, and And now being 40, I am like, we don't need to grow anymore. I'm not opening another restaurant. We need to be intentional about being better at what we're doing now. Let's just like hone in on what we're doing and like be better. And from a personal standpoint, it's so different. For me, I didn't enjoy the journey, really, to be honest. I was in hustle culture, hustle mode the whole time, sacrificing everything. Now is about, enjoying,
Riding the wave.
enjoying what I built, enjoying, just not having to hustle 24/7, which is still hard because my person I'm talking to is like, I don't want to say therapist, but whatever, is like, you don't have to go to work 9 to 5 every day. And I'm like, and they're like, but you don't, and I think that it's trying to get out of that and slow down. For me now, success is about being happy in yourself, being happy with how you show up in the world and how you treat people. And what I've noticed about myself is like when I'm exhausted and I'm, not in a good place, I'm not as kind. And I'm a very kind person, and I like that about myself, but I need to show up better. And that's where, success to me is being that version of myself. So it's totally different, every season, I think, of your life and through a business. And I think turning 40 and gaining confidence and not really caring what people think anymore, is a big thing. And so, just look at things completely different.
Well, and I think for you, like with the businesses, you've now kind of switched to this quality over quantity side of things, right? Yeah. It's just really expanding the business and making, like you said, making it better. Yeah. Yeah.
So owning a business in Cayman comes with unique challenges. Yeah. Staffing, hurricanes, shipping delays, island economics, all the things.
All the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff. What's something people on the outside don't fully understand about running a business here?
Well, from the outside, they think we're just like on the beach every day drinking pina coladas. Obviously, it's not happening. But, I think even just from a customer standpoint, the thing that is difficult that people don't understand is, every day there's a fire to put out, through different phases of the business. Those fires are smaller or bigger, depending on what the scenario is. But, there's always a challenge. And then you're trying to do that. But then you're also trying to make sure that this smoothie that you're making is like the best quality ingredients that, you can possibly have. But then it's also affordable. But then you have to pay your CUC, you have to pay the wages, you have to pay the health insurance, you have to pay the pension, you have to pay the shipping and all the things that come along with it. And people don't see that. So it's like this constant, battle of like the best quality items of being affordable and competitive. But, you need to pay people fair wages, and you need to be able to actually make money. And for a long time, if I'm being really honest, as a business, I took a huge hit. It was like, it's not about making money. And now you have to make money, or as you've seen in, past couple of years, businesses are closing. It's happened a lot, and unfortunately in this industry, and it's not easy. And it's a constant battle. And I think that's the part that people don't understand of, this juice is $7.50 or $8 or whatever. And, sure, I could sell a $10 juice, but I don't want to sell a $10 juice if I can avoid it, is I want people to be able to have access. That was the whole point from the beginning, of affordable. So it's a constant thing of like sourcing different items from different places. We bring a lot of stuff ourselves so that we can get better quality items for more reasonable prices. And that's a whole different side of the business that I took on in order to be able to do that. And, people just don't necessarily see that side of it, which is hard. Because you can't be like, look what I'm doing, appreciate it. You just have to, it is what it is.
Yeah, that would be difficult though. So there have been some situations where people have used your food creations and presented them as their own. How did that affect you emotionally and professionally?
Good question. I mean, different throughout the seasons. Early on, when they would happen all the time, very blatantly. Like we'd have people come into the restaurant, sit in the restaurant, like with their whole management team. You know, like there were blatant situations. There was, lots of things over the years. And at the beginning, it certainly like impacted me. You know, like people say it's not personal, it's business. And I hate that because when you're in that season, you're giving your entire being into this business. Yeah. So to say it's not personal, it's not personal to you. It's very personal to me. And, you know, and so it would massively impact me. And, you know, they try to poach staff, or, you know, I'd have entire spaces and concepts taken, and it's upsetting. Sure. As you grow as a business and as you grow in, you know, get older as a woman, you become more confident in yourself and in the business. And at that point, when it starts happening, you start taking it as a compliment. Because I'm like, okay, well, the grocery stores are coming in here. You've got these big, you know, small and big companies coming in trying to see what we're doing and mirror, you know, what it is. And that's a compliment. You know, we are doing something right. I think the thing that they don't realize is that you can copy, you know, a recipe, or you can copy a product, but you can't copy reputation. You can't copy culture. You know, you can't just copy and paste things that, you know, have been built and, you know, have happened throughout all those years. So at this point, when somewhere new opens up or they try to take a part of my team, I wish them well. And, you know, there's lots of space for people on this island to do their thing. And I genuinely, look at it completely different. But I think that comes with confidence in yourself and in the business. So if someone's in that season where they're getting defensive, I think that's probably pretty normal.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I feel like I would be livid.
Yeah. Yeah, you nailed that.
How do you stay creative and continue innovating when you've been in the business for 15 years?
I mean, there's a lot of, for me, it's getting off island. I don't like to look around locally. I think that's kind of unfair sometimes, obviously, because that's what, so I like to travel, to check things out. It's a good way to kind of internationally see what's going on. It's also a good way to be like, ooh, we're doing this well. We're doing this, you know, so it's like it's a good thing all around. Obviously social media, we get a lot from social media and that sort of thing. But the biggest thing I would say is like, you know, not closing yourself off. Like just because I'm the owner doesn't mean that I know best. So, you know, it's all about the team. You know, they're dealing with customer. We'll ask work. We put surveys out. Like we will ask customers. We will, you know, ask the team what they think. And like the fun part of the business is like, okay, let's try this recipe. Like, okay, we're going to try some matches today. We're going to do, you know, and it's like, you just need to be open to other people's ideas. And that's just kind of. Now, the other thing I will say is when you're in a growth period, it is hard to be creative because we've had to shift focus for definitely the last couple of years away from creativity to like, okay, we have to put this process. And now that stuff's in place, I'm like, okay, guys, we need to be more competitive. We need to get back into it. And, you know, so that's, if anyone's noticed, we're like doing we're kind of changing things up, doing specialty coffees and matches and that sort of thing to kind of remain competitive. But it is hard to keep it because your focus gets shifted. Yeah. So you kind of have to like pull yourself back and be like, okay, this is the whole point, is to not lose that passion for what you're doing. So it's tough.
Yeah. There's often pressure on women to do it all. Have you struggled with burnout or balance while building business?
Sorry.
They can't even get through the question.
Yeah, I mean, I think as women, we like, it's kind of unfortunately in our nature to like people please, need to take everything on and put ourselves last, which is definitely something I've done. So yeah, I've Nadine knows, I've probably, like, not to glorify it because it's not something to brag about, but I've probably been in burnout the entire time. I've been very out of balance for a long time, probably the best that I've been in a while. But it is certainly a roller coaster, you know, and it takes a lot of effort. I mean, I was having like major health symptoms before I even had the business, like right at the beginning. I mean, I remember working at Royal Palms, and falling asleep behind the bar. Like, you know, it was just, there was definitely some major warning signs. And I was like, let me open a bunch of businesses. I'm like at the best state to do it. So it's been constant. It is more, unfortunately, it's been more about managing it. And now that I've turned 40 this year, I was like, okay, no more. This year is going to be different. I'm not, you know, I'm getting my energy back. I'm doing this, like even things like eating proper meals, like getting enough protein. You know, I have 2 restaurants and a wellness store, and I'm still not nailing it. So like anyone that's listening, like give yourself some grace, because I can't even do it. You know, like it's not easy we all try to do it all, right?
Yeah.
But it's really about getting, and I think there was a season where like partially it was necessary, but now, at this age, it's like your priorities shift, and you know, it's just not worth it anymore. So
and I don't know if anyone's ever asked you this question, but if you could do it all over again, would you?
It's funny. If somebody asked me, well, because I've had people ask about franchising, you know, and I'm like, no, I would not be able to do it again.
No,
I wouldn't be able to do it again. I don't know how I did it. Honestly, like I'm shocked. It was exhausting. Like it was really like all consuming. And I remember like I was up for an award a couple of years back, and we did an interview, and they asked me something about like what was like the hardest time in the business or something, and I burst into tears, which is like never happens. Like I was like uncontrolled. It was like the PTSD from everything just like coming back in like a wave. So yeah, it's I don't think I would be able to. If I did, it would be, you know, here's my investor, here's like the people that are going to run it, you know, like that sort of thing.
So that was my next question is, would you do things differently?
Yes. Yeah. I think
it's hard to say. It's
hard to say because it's kind of a beautiful thing to be able to be like, wow.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people don't know the story because, as you know, I've been very behind the scenes, and I tried to let the brand speak for itself because it's not about me. But yeah, I think it's a cool story, and I love that that's what it is. But it would have been a lot easier if I had done things differently. You know, if I had asked for help sooner, if I'd hired people that had more experience than me sooner, if I invested before I was ready to invest, you know, all those things. It would certainly have probably been bigger than it is now, to be honest, or it would have grown sooner. But I would probably be more balanced. So yeah, it's tough.
I guess you never really know as well, because like bringing in investors, you don't know.
It can
could have changed things too. Yeah.
You know, and then you've got a whole different issue on your hands. So at least I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But here you are.
There I am.
Yes. And on that, what has been one of your proudest moments as a business owner that nobody really sees?
I mean, there's great moments. You know, you're doing Taste of Cayman and you've got 100 people lined up at your booth, or you win an award or something like that. That's obviously very cool and feels great in the moment. But I think it's like, you know, I don't get a lot of those proud moments. People are like, you must be so proud. And I'm like, I'm so busy. I don't even know. Like, what? So it's honestly, it's kind of like random moments. It's like, you know, you're sitting in the restaurant and you overhear strangers talking about how amazing it is, you know, or, you know, I had someone it's happened a lot, but I had someone the other day tell me that working at Island Naturals changed their whole life and changed who they are. And, you know, just, random things like that, just those small moments where, you know, you realize that like you did good, you know, and it's not about a show. It's not about a big splash on social media. It's just about like, you know, hearing what someone genuinely feels about something that you've built. It's pretty cool.
It is cool. If you could go back and give advice to the Lindsay who first arrived in Cayman with
do it. The manager was like, don't make that joke. And I was like, okay.
Too late. Yeah, what would you tell her?
No, I wouldn't tell her don't do it. But I would say you're going to do the thing. Just enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Like, just slow down. Just, you don't have to do it all. Just enjoy the journey. Trust yourself. And I think that's the key, I would say, to a lot of women. A lot of us have strong gut intuitions. We dismiss them for whatever those reasons are. You know, I had a lot of people, including close family, who did not think I should open the restaurant in the first place, who did not think that I should open the Grove. And I just had this gut feeling like that needed to happen. And, you know, I think you have to trust yourself, but you have to obviously be able to like back yourself up and do what you said you're going to do. But yeah,
it still comes with the hard work and putting in the effort.
I would just say enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you happy you opened the Grove?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, there was a moment where it almost didn't happen, but yeah, it was the right decision for sure. Change the business. It's a beautiful, it's a beautiful space.
It is.
Such a good food.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, never mind how great the food is. It is beautiful. So for women listening who have an idea, a dream, or want to start over at any age, what do you hope your story teaches them?
I mean, I think I would hope that it teaches that literally against all odds. You know, I was super young, first time entrepreneur in a foreign country, had no money. I really didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I'm not a chef. I didn't know what I was doing. I had experience in retail, but I didn't have experience in wellness really. And there were so many reasons that it shouldn't have worked out, you know, and I think it's a sign to just trust in yourself. And if choose something you're passionate about, that's like the biggest thing. Because if you're not, when you hit those lows, it's going to be really hard to get back up, you know? So I think, I would just hope that it proves that you can do it. You know, anyone can, whether it's, you know, when you're young, when you're 40, when you're 50, whatever it is. I mean, if you set yourself up in the right way, support system, financially, you know, all that good stuff, I think, it just, we can do the things.
Yeah. Yeah. The support system is very important.
Is there anything else you're planning, or you're feeling good?
Right now, the only other plan right now is just we're going to revamp the retail store, all new shelving and all that good stuff. But no, it's, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. There's no growth planned right now, but we're about to launch. We've been kind of quietly doing catering, which has been going really well. About to launch that more publicly in the next month or two, probably. So yeah, just kind of.
Actually, one of the things I don't think that we fully touched on was, which I do think that people also need to hear too, is what about your failures? What about the big fails? Mm-hmm. Did you have a lot of those?
I mean, I'm very lucky that this whole thing was not a fail, obviously. But failures, yeah, I mean, there's always
where you've launched something and you're like, well, that was not a good idea, or
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I've been pretty lucky along the way. I think there's been losses. You know, I had to pull out of a location, lost a lot of money there. It was the wrong, just the wrong timing and everything. And there's been, other, I guess, things like that, locations that we tried to go into that, didn't happen. But off the top of my head, no, I can't think of anything. That could just be me shoving the failures away and not wanting to revisit them. I don't know. But we've been pretty lucky that, there's little things obviously day to day that we have to shift, but no, thankfully no large things. Yeah.
And for people who are not familiar with Island Naturals down here on the island, where are you located? Where can people find you?
So we have 2 restaurant locations and 2 retail locations. The Grove, we have our main restaurant, and next to that we have our collection store, which is gifts, so candles and crystals and water bottles and all that good stuff. And then in our original location, which is just kind of off of 7 Mile behind Lloyd's Smokehouse, we've got our wellness store with vitamins, natural skincare, sports nutrition, and then the original cafe, which is kind of smaller, more grab and go. So both along 7 Mile, easy to find us. And then on social media, just Island Naturals restaurants and Island Naturals retail.
Where'd you come up with the name?
I wrote down like a bunch of, back before ChatGPT, okay, way back then, when I had a notepad and a pen, and I don't know, I just wrote like different things down, and then I asked a couple of people, and that was the one. Like there was a couple of like random ones that like, thank goodness I didn't choose those. And then like the Island Naturals, I don't know, there's a couple people that their comment was that you could take it and grow. Because again, this was just the wellness at this point.
Right.
And I remember when I opened the cafe, I was like, does that work? Is it too long? Are people going to be like, it's not short enough and like snappy enough or whatever? But I don't know, I guess it just worked. It worked.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you for coming on and chatting with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us on Breast Intentions. We hope you felt seen, supported, and maybe had a few laughs along the way. Don't forget to share, subscribe, rate, and review us. Your support keeps the conversation alive. Follow us on social media for more insights, behind-the-scenes fun, and updates on future episodes. Got a topic you want us to dive into? We'd love to hear from you. Remember, life's too short for bad bras, toxic relationships, and kale you don't actually like. So until next time, stay bold and keep your breast intentions exactly where they belong, front and center. Now go crush midlife, or at least today's to-do list. Cheers!